We are going to discuss about Introduction to AWS Identity Access Management or IAM. So the first thing is, what is IAM? So it stands for Identity and Access Management. IAM is a web service in AWS that helps manage users' access to AWS resources. IAM allows you to create and manage AWS users and groups and control their permissions to across AWS services. IAM provides a way to securely manage access to AWS resources without having to share AWS account credentials. IAM is used to control who is authenticated and authorized to use AWS resources. The first identity in IAM is the root user, which has access to all AWS resources. The primary reasons in IAM users are groups, rules, policies, and the entities provider. The IAM role are like IAM users, but they are intended to be assumed by anyone who needs them, and they do not have any credential associated with them. And IAM can be used from the AWS Management Console, AWS CLI, and AWS SDK. So let's go with the lab. Lab, we are going to start on the IAM. So for that, I am just going to write the IAM to access the service. So now I am going to create IAM user. So for that, if you see in the left panel, we have the user, right, in the access management. So I'm just going to create a user. So we have the two user, and now we are going to create at least 5 users, right? So first, when you click on the create user button, so you will see the specify user detail section here, where we have to write the username first. So now I am going to provide a username Nishant1, or I can say dev. I will let you know why I am going to write the dev here, and 01, right? And here I am going to select the provided user access to AWS Management Console. So here I am going to define how you can access your AWS console through this user. So there is an options here for the console password. So it will be auto generated password or can be custom password. So I am going to select and write the custom password here, and just make uncheck here, because I don't want the user must create a new password at the next sign in, right? It will be a recommended, but in a production, not in this, right? So I'm going to just click on the next and leave this permission as it is. But if you want to see the permissions here, so we have the add user to group, right? Because after creation this user, I am going to add to the group, and there is some permissions boundary. So yeah, if you want, so you can add, but I will add the explicitly, right, through the group. So here's the summary here. So now I am going to create my user. So if you see this error, so just ignore it, and I am going to return my user list and just click here to continue. Now we have the user which we have just created. Now I am going to create the same multiple time. So I need 3 more. So just going to be little bit quicker, right, because we have already discussed here. Now I'm going to be click on next, and to going create a user. Great. Now I am going to create one more user here. So from now I am going to create for the HR team, right? uh, Let me complete this process. So yeah, just make it a little bit quicker. So now we have to create one more. So here I am going to create Nishant. Just ignore the spelling, right? I am going to little bit faster. So if you see, we have the custom password. So I have just provided the custom password. Uncheck this one. I don't want to be this. Yep. Now I'm going to create a user. So we have successfully created three new users, right, along with our the dev one. So we have the total 4 users here. Now we need to create a IAM group and the add the IAM user. So here I am going to click in the left panel the user group, right, in the access management. So in the user group we need to create a group. So I'm just going to click here, and the group name I'm going to provide the dev team, right? And in the dev team I have an two user which I have created for the dev team, right? So I have just selected the users which I want to add into this group. Now here's the main role. So what the dev can do, right, in this AWS console. So I am just going to provide the two access, first for EC2 read-only access, right? So the user which are in our dev group, they can easily read all the EC2 instance, and also I have just provided for the S3 bucket, so they can read complete S3 bucket, right, with the dev team settings. So now I am going to create a user group, right? So it's going to be a created. So you can see we have the dev team here, and whatever the users come into the dev team, they can only read the EC2 instance and S3 bucket. Now we need to create the one more group here, right? So we have the HR team, right? And in the HR team I have not a user, and what permission HR team is required, only the billing, right? So I have just provided the permissions to see the billings, okay, and whatever the billings permission required, so I have just provided it complete one. So I am going to create this group. Now you can see how we can create a user, and after that how we can create a user group with permissions. So this is all about a IAM. There's a one more thing which you know. So in 2021 the AWS IAM introduced a new feature called Access Analyzer, which uses automated reasoning to help identify the resources that an IAM policy allows or denied access to. So this can be useful for identify unintended access and the auditing IAM policy to ensure they conform to security best practices. So the Access Analyzer also provides the recommendations for how to modify the policy and to remove unintended access. So it's making it easier to maintain a secure AWS environment. So I think I am done in this lab. Let's connect to the next lab with the next services. So thank you so much.